Mark and Joey here with a special edition of the PGA Show, which we're typically doing on Mondays, but one of the major events, the President's Cup, happening this week, all the way over in Australia, and one day only in the books, but very exciting, I guess, and a different result. I'm hard time getting that out. A different result than we're used to. The Americans down by 4-1 in the first day of these matches.
Yeah, it was a great day by the international team. Obviously, good pairings for Ernie Els. Besides the one he sacrificed to Tiger, who played the best at everybody on the American squad, which is kind of sad. If I'm Tiger Woods, I'm going in there going, boys, I'm 43 freaking years old. I don't care what your excuse is. I played the same as you. In fact, had a chance to win my tournament back in Bahamas, and I came out and I was amazing. What the hell? So, very interesting there. Americans look flat, obviously, because of the flight. The international team energized. A lot has been said about Ernie Els' captaincy. Apparently, had tons of dinners throughout the year with many of the guys that were going to be potentially on this team. They played a lot of practice rounds at other tournaments, and then they got there a week early. So, very well done. He's using an analytic approach, not a personality approach, which seems to be working. I guess that makes sense on a team that's hard to develop personalities anyways when, half the team can't speak English. So, that's been the issue for the international. So instead he said, well, screw all the personality stuff. Let's just get analytics together. You guys go play your own games, but they should match up based on how you play normally. And it's obviously been a successful formula.
Well, it's been a great formula at day one. We'll see what happens with the whole thing. I think there's two things that are remarkably different this time. And they talked about it on the show, which was kind of annoying to me, that this is the first day one the Americans have ever lost, blah, blah, blah. You have to change the format. I mean, it's not, we can't tell if they would have been ahead if they had the format. But Joey, talk about the change.
So, it hasn't been done very often, which is kind of surprising, but you are allowed to change the format. In the Ryder Cup, they almost get changed every year. The Europeans almost always want to go with the alternate shot first off, and the Americans almost always want to go with the 4-ball. When the President's Cup is actually the opposite. The alternate shot has been a huge favor to the American side, and the 4-ball, nothing's been a favor to the international, but it's been a lot closer. Partly because, obviously, like I said, it's hard for the internationals to play alternate shot because they're using each other's golf ball. So many different types of games, so many different types of languages. Communication is probably the most important in alternate shot than anything else. So the Americans have gone out and blown up the international in the first session almost every year because of the alternate shot format. Ernie Els smartly goes, hasn't worked for us, let's switch up, switches it up, gets out there with the scramble format, not scramble, best ball format, and they go out and take a 4-1 lead, which allows you today, whether you play good or not, pretty much in it going into the weekend, which is huge for the event, huge for the team. So even if you throw a stinker, which I don't think will happen, I think when you're up 4-1, you're automatically going to be better in the next session anyway. So I think you'll probably be like a 3-2 Americans, maybe a 3-1-1 situation for the Americans. But smart strategy by Els. Can't believe no one thought about it. Paid off big dividends, obviously, here, going up 4-1. But that's definitely something to be talked about. The Ryder Cup, it happens all the time. I don't know why internationals hesitate and wait so long to finally flip the format on the Americans here and try to at least potentially give themselves a lead. It was no guarantees, but it certainly worked out.
Well, and I think we've got to look at the fact that that's one factor in doing that. The second factor is jet lag. I think the American team has treated the event like a farce. I'm really disappointed. This is a big event, particularly nationally around the world because of the international team. By the U.S. team playing last week, the flight is 17 hours to get to Australia. The jet lag is enormous. I was just reading this morning that jet lag is actually worse on day 2, 3, and 4 than it is on day 1.
They look tired.
They look tired. Tiger's interview after the match, he looked half asleep, and I think that this is something to have to look at. I think the U.S. has really not taken this seriously in the way that they scheduled Tiger's event. They had people flying over on Sunday, playing on Wednesday, and I don't know. I just don't see it. I don't think the Americans are going to come back, but I think it's going to be a hollow victory for the international team because of the way the U.S. treated this event.
Well, I don't think you'll ever be a hollow victory. I think it's a victory, and they're going to celebrate, and they'll be hugely happy that they beat.
I agree, but in the analysis of it, this is going to be a jet lag event.
But no one will care. I mean, the internationals have never won since, obviously, in the 90s. It's important for the event for this to be close no matter what the reason is. I don't think it's going to come down to logic, which will be that obviously the Americans were on a ton of jet lag and really got there on Sunday, had to play Thursday. They look exhausted. Now, like I said, that's why I said it's going to be interesting what Tiger says to these guys, because a 43-year-old man who's had knee injuries and back injuries went out and played fantastic.
Yeah.
So what's these young guys' excuse? But I don't think.
Well, that's why he's the greatest of all time.
He can
do that.
It will be. It won't matter. If the internationals win, because it's going to be about the internationals finally winning. It's the point of home court advantage. I mean, that's the point in any sport.
Yeah.
Is travel's a big deal. Even in the NBA Finals, obviously a West Coast team against the East Coast team. Baseball, the NL versus the AL. You have these advantages to the point, and the internationals have to take advantage of this and get a win to get the event some juice, and it will make it more interesting coming back to America in 2 years' time, because there'll be. Even though I think America will win in America almost all the time, at least there'll be something to talk about.
Right.
There'll be something. So
Defending
it's just still very, very important for the internationals. Take advantage of this, stomp on their throats, win this event, get it competitive again, and use this as an advantage. Tiger's event is going to be in question on what date it is. It's the first time the President's Cup has been moved to this date. So Tiger was definitely not prepared for it with his event.
Right.
So he'll probably make changes though too. I mean, I guarantee you, it's nothing for. It's an 18-player field event. It's nothing for him to bring in a week forward. But he was told late that this was going to happen. So you got to take advantage of your internationals right now. Go win this. Go get your second win. Make the event. Give it some juice. Maybe you found a strategy along with it. Along with them being jet lagged, maybe Ernie Els did find something and not worrying about personality, worrying about analytics.
Yeah.
And use this going forward. That's what this is about. And even if they do win, and even if the Americans come back and they win every other session, but internationals still win the cup, and they're people are going to be, well, because this first session, no one's going to really do that unless you truly want to depress internationals of their win, which will be hard to do because they'll be so excited. It's in Australia with lots of Australians on the team. No matter how this is won, if it is won by the international, it's big for the event and big for all the players representing individual countries of Korea, China, Australia, South Africa, Canada. It's a big deal. So,
well, I don't take away from that, Joey, and you're right about that part of it. But you know what? You scheduled it in Australia. This is very unique. 17 hours away.
Well, it's smart. It's smart. It's an advantage.
No, I'm saying to golf, and PJ's obviously involved in the scheduling and this event since it's all their players that are playing in it. It's a bad decision to do this and not have the Americans take the proper time off. It hurt. I don't really care what happens in the end. It hurts from a fan base perspective that these guys are not ready to play. They didn't look ready to play yesterday. I think they're going to get trounced again today. I just think if you're going to do an event like this and go to a unique place like Australia, you had to leave the week open beforehand. You just had to. Whatever it took to scheduling, you need to do that for the fans. I don't disagree with you. Probably nobody will care in the end. But it really, from my perspective, really diminishes the victory, diminishes the event by doing this. It'll end up being an excuse. If the Americans lose, I guarantee you every one of them is going to talk about the flight, the jet lag, and the fact that they didn't get out and play on this golf course, which is an extremely difficult golf course. And so I just think it's just not going to be the same kind of win as you do. We'll see what happens after the event's over, for sure.
That no doubt in the conversation in America will be American players will all go use that as an excuse.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about the fact is you have to keep the international team in it. You have to get them a win. You have to take advantage of this. I just don't think the countries that need this more than America doesn't need this. America needs the Ryder Cup. America likes this, and they're going to show up because they can. They love team events. They love to blow out teams. They love to win. They love to lose. Whatever it is, they love competition. So it works for America regardless of how this finishes. They're not going to lose ticket sales next year. If anything, it might go up. Because people are going to go, wow, it might be an event now.
Yeah.
But they're sold out every year for the President's Cups and Ryder Cups. This was sold out. I've heard our Queer Hollow's already sold out. So President's Cup has the name. It doesn't matter. But the international teams, they just have to have it. And it doesn't matter what the Americans say afterwards. Australia does not watch American television because they're sleeping when American television's on. They do not care if DJ and Tiger and JT and all of them come back and go, we would have won if we weren't jet lagged. Australia does not care. China does not care. Korea does not care. And I'll tell you what, if Adam Hamlin goes 4-0, Canada won't care either. So, while you're realistic, and it's the truth, it just doesn't matter to the point of the event and the team that needs it more anyway. And America's going to love to hate the American team to begin with anyways. They love to get on their guys. The guys will come out and make excuses. It'll just make the next one even better. This is great. And it will make the next one even huger for the Americans because then if they lose the next one, then that's going to be the conversation. They already got the Ryder Cup, which they lost in Europe. They have the Ryder Cup next year. I mean, they deal with this all the time. It just adds to the Ryder Cup because now Americans must win the Ryder Cup. They lose the President's Cup now. It just adds fuel to the fire. I love it. I don't care what the reason is, what the excuse is. I know it's there, and I know it's realistic. I'm just saying it just doesn't
Well,
matter.
the one thing I'll give you is that the next President's Cup, the Americans would have to prove it. So they'd have to prove the jet lag.
Even
was
the
an
Ryder
issue.
Cup, there's probably been no
So,
time that
you know,
they've lost both.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't care. They're going to be, first of all, they're going to be motivated. They don't want to have to deal with the crap that comes with it.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
first of all, I think they're going to get America's best, certainly on Saturday and Sunday. Even today, I agree with you. That's why I don't think they'll go out and win 5-0. I don't think they'll go in 4-1. I think it'll be maybe 3-2, maybe 3-1-1. But come Saturday, Sunday, if you don't think that they're going to be pretty motivated because they're going to go, oh my God, guys, like we can't lose this one too. Because just the media alone would drive them nuts. I think you're going to see a heavily motivated American team. I think you're going to see a great finish. I don't think the international all of a sudden going to blow them out again today. I don't think they're all of a sudden going to blow them out on Saturday. It's going to be close. But regardless of the reason for this specific day, which 100% goes to jet lag, 50% I'll give to Ernie Els and the team, and give them credit. They took it serious. They worked on stuff. They came up with a situation, a way to win. It's definitely jet lag, but it doesn't matter as long as internationals in the U.S. make this a great event, and hopefully the international can come on top with a close win and make it exciting going forward.
Well, I got to tell you, the last time they played here, 1998,
They won.
The international team won 20.5 to 11.
It could happen.
So I hate to see it happen again. That it's just tough because it just becomes a throw-out event that jet lag and not being prepared in the American
But
side
it doesn't, though.
makes that happen. So that's what I'm worried about for the event. But like you say, we need the international team to get a win because this is a really boring event overall.
It's a throw.
So,
it was a throw-out event because the Americans dominate so much. So you can't all of a sudden. This is a throw-out event because all of a sudden the internationals win.
Well, they're just gonna have excuses. The only last time they
No,
won,
I know, but
golf course, Australia, jet lag is the only reason the internationals can beat the U.S. It'll be part of the excuse.
I play sports and I've also watched a lot of sports. Even when you beat a team that maybe has reasons, you can gain confidence from it. And I think no matter what happens, like the Americans might say about it, I think it's going to be blinders for the national team. They'll celebrate their win. They'll be so freaking happy. They'll go to their home countries, be celebrating. And more importantly, they'll believe at least there's always a possibility now. There's always a potential. With Ernie Els and maybe his strategy, the players will believe in that strategy, which was analytical. It just creates belief, even if the Americans have a logical excuse, which only real people kind of back home in America and us can understand. But I'm telling you, the players and the fans over there will not care, and they'll get some belief. I heard it last week, flipping sports, but the Rams destroyed the Cardinals. Even though they should. Golf said he had so much confidence going to the Seahawks game, he didn't feel like anyone could stop him because he beat the Cardinals. But you learn something, you develop something, you believe in something. I just think regardless of it, which is a fact of a 17-hour flight, I cannot imagine taking a 17-hour flight having to play golf 3 days later. We flew from Tampa Bay to Myrtle Beach, and we slept for like a week.
Well, we did have a pretty hard work schedule there, but
I'm telling you,
sure.
You're getting a motivated American team going forward. So if you do win, it's an honorable win, and it has to happen for the event and for the players of the internationals and for the captains of the internationals and just everyone going forward to have any sort of belief that you can win in America 2 years' time, because America has been very cruel to you when you've had to play there. So, like I said, I get it. You're a realistic human being. I'm a guy that's trying to think in the head of a sports mind. They're going to take a lot from it if they can still get the victory. And I tell you what's worse is if America's come back and win, because then it's the worst loss ever. You're on the spectrum of internationals now are where the Americans were. The Americans are supposed to win, have to win. Now the internationals in a situation where it's like, you got an easy 4-1 lead because of jet lag. If you don't go win now, come on.
And today they're coming up against where they've never been successful.
I know.
So it could be.
So you want to talk about pressure? The international team's now going, oh my God, we got the pressure. We're up 4-1. Took advantage of an American team that was clearly not ready to go. DJ coming off an injury, Gary Winland not playing well, and their best player being a 43-year-old man.
Yeah.
I mean, now you have to go win this event. So now it's going to be really cool going forward. A motivated U.S. team with kind of nothing to lose now because they're down 4-1. And a team now in the international, very young, will have to go win, and they have to with a 4-1 lead.
Well, I do agree with you on the motivation side on the U.S. side, because now it's a big comeback. So it'll be a big news story.
An epic story.
And that's what Americans love to get in the world of athletics. So it would be something of an amazing story if they come back and they can win, being down 4-1 out of the first day. So anyway, we're going to see it. And the other thing I love about Australia, prime time. Every match is at night.
I like
fantastic.
That,
we enjoyed it last night, as opposed to some of the destinations where it's been overnight that we've had to watch.
Well, it's better than the morning. Like
really
in Britain, they tell you, or in Europe, that you got to get up at like 4 in the morning.
Yeah.
I'd rather have to stay up till 4 in the morning. Like even in the
these
30,
matches are finishing at midnight. It was perfect, 5:30 to midnight.
well, the 36 hole day they'll
So
finish
fantastic.
probably more around 1, 2 a.m. But still, that's way nicer than having to get up. I tell you that I like Australia as far as a non-American place to play. It works really well for sure. But yeah, lots of news going to come out of this. Either going to be a great win by the international the first time in a long time, or honestly now it would be the great upset, the great comeback by the Americans. So this is what an event needs. It needs juice like this. It's been created now. It's going to be lots of fun, and I just hope that it's a great event. Being from Canada myself, obviously Dream One Day is for me to play on it. Right. Well, I don't want it to be this event that's kind of become, which is really Americans will win by 8 or 9, move on, and we'll see at the Ryder Cup. It's prep, so it's just nice. I mean, I'm on that side.
Well, I have to give you that. We'll do that. We're going to watch. We're going to be on the air every day talking about the day before and what happened within the golf, so we hope to see it.
Real quick, I want to say one thing before we go. I've gone on about the event, the teams. Breaking down the players a little bit more, I think, first of all, it's disgusting Hong Tong Lee's not playing one of these first
problem
days.
with all these events.
I have voiced my opinion to my father here. I'd like to put it on air. I think it's completely wrong. It's 2 different formats. If you think he's a specialist for one of the formats, that's fine. But when you have one each day, then what's your excuse for sitting him? I'm not really happy with this by Ernie Els. Ernie Els has done a lot of great stuff. A guy who's in his first time, and by the way, qualified, and yet he's playing captain's picks more than him. I'd be very saddened if I'm Hong Tong Lee that I didn't get at least in one of the first 2 days, especially representing China, the only one from China. I think he's got to be a little disappointed, and now he's going to come out Saturday, probably have to play maybe 36 holes, depending on how this session goes here, but might only get to play 1 session before the Sundays. I just think it's very wrong. I think this is still, while you want to win, you want to make it competitive, it's a fun event. Get him in there.
Well, you know what?
Get him in.
We've talked about this forever in the Ryder Cup, too. There's no reason to not play everybody every day.
They're professional golfers.
It's ridiculous. There's very rare that you're going to have an injury happen during an event that you didn't already know about. And maybe there's walkovers. They do this in tennis. I mean, everybody plays at tennis, and a guy gets injured, it's a walkover, and they move on. Yeah. They can do the same thing here, but everybody should be scheduled to play every day in these events. It's ridiculous.
Well, I'm okay. I'm okay with the subs. Actually, a lot of players go, thank God, for 2 guys sitting out all the time. So I'm not saying everyone needs to play every event, but the first few days, when you have a different format on each day, you tell me you can't fit in one of them, is very, very wrong, especially because he is a winner. He's obviously high enough ranked to be on your team. He qualified for your team, and he's 6'4" and hit the ball 320.
Yeah.
I don't understand that. I agree. I don't mind the subs. And like I said, a lot of players have said actually we prefer the subs. I definitely know someone like the older guys like Phil, Tiger, in their older ages enjoy it. But
how about this?
One a day? You can't get him in today after not playing him yesterday?
Here's what you're talking about. So here's another, in my theory, I think everybody qualified should play every event they want to, and then the subs should be the captain's picks.
I agree.
If you want to talk about the guys like to sit and have some rotation, then I would say that the guys who qualify for the team get the choice to play every day, every match. And the guys that were captain's picks, if anybody's sitting, it has to be them.
Somewhere along the line,
wrong for him to qualify, and now he's sat twice, like captain picks are in, it just destroys, in my mind, the point of qualifying.
Yeah, like for him, he's going to go, I worked so hard to be a permanent spot on your team without any questions, and now I'm not going to play till Saturday. It's just unfair, especially with the build-up, especially on the international side, too, where they don't get to do this every year. You don't know where he'll be in 2 years. It's unlike the Americans where a lot of these guys play a lot. They play a lot of these events. They play Ryder Cup, President's Cup, Ryder Cup, President's Cup, Ryder Cup, President's Cup. This is not the case, and you just don't know.
Well, imagine for us, and I have to say he was a captain's pick, but we're watching, waiting for Adam Hadwin to get out.
Only Canadian.
Course, and imagine the first 2 days he doesn't play, and we're going to go, well, Jesus, like why'd you bother picking him?
Yeah.
So I think it is important that there's some mandate they've got to get to. Where in the first 2 days, everybody has to play
hard.
At least.
It's not hard. You play 36 on Saturday. It's easy to get everyone in there, and subs make sense because it's hard to play 36, so I don't care how old you are. So Saturday's easy. Sunday's easy. You're telling me you can't get the guy in on Thursday or Friday. That's my only mandate, is they go Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Even the Ryder Cup, they go 36-36. You're telling me you can't get guys in at least once a day?
Yeah.
And in this case, not once a day, but at least once either Thursday
even
or Friday.
Ryder Cup guys have sat the first 2 days. It's amazing.
It's just ridiculous.
So anyway, there we are on the PGA. We'll be back tomorrow and talk more about the President's Cup. See how it goes. That's our thoughts for today as to why we are where we are after day one. And we'll look forward to it. But it's certainly having the international team in front is a nice change of pace because the Americans are always in front after day one. And we're going to look forward to some
No
great...
one's ever lost after leading day one. Now the only internationals have won once, but they led that one.
And that's how they led on day one. So we'll see what happens on the rest of the show, but we'll certainly be looking forward to it in prime time today. Thursday night, it's going to be tough, switching channels, NFL football crap game, and the PGA, so maybe it won't be that
more
tough.
like a practice session for the Ravens.
Yeah, we'll see what happens there. But anyway, we'll be looking forward to getting back to you tomorrow and talk more about the President's Cup.